These are the Dragons, the 5 multi-millionaire investors on their way back to the den. There, over the next 6 weeks, they will make or break the business dreams of dozens of budding entrepreneurs.
I really do not like this. It absolves people of responsibility.
It does no use whatsoever.
I've tried to help you. I've tried, you know, every question you just deflect the answer.
I don't want to invest, you know that?
You're idiots, basically. Sorry, I can't work with idiots. I'm out.
The Dragons know what they're talking about. Powerful and wealthy now, they all built up their own fortunes from scratch. Deborah Meaden made her millions in the holiday and leisure industry in the West Country. Duncan Bannatyne is a Glaswegian entrepreneur whose £170 million empire includes health clubs, hotels and casinos. Theo Paphitis is a retail magnate who's transformed the fortunes of high street brands like Ryman, Licenza, Partners and Contessa. Richard Farley is based in Monaco and made his fortune as an investment banker and hedge fund manager, and he's now a prolific investor in UK startup companies. Peter Jones is one of Britain's most successful entrepreneurs. His multi-million-pound business empire ranges from telecoms and property to the media. In the den, the Dragons are ready to back the right businesses with their own money. But tonight, will anyone convince them to invest? Welcome back to the Dragon's Den, where nervous entrepreneurs are waiting for their chance to pitch their business ideas and inventions to our 5 multi-millionaire investors, the Dragons. Now, the Dragons are ready to invest their own money, so they're only going to back the very best ideas. And first into the den is Steve Wright, a puppeteer from Yorkshire. He wants an investment of £147,000 for a brand new venture. And remember, the rules of Dragon's Den say he has to get at least the money he asks for, or he leaves with nothing at all.
Hello, my name's Steve Wright, and I'm here to pitch Shaw £147,000. I run a puppet theatre company in West Yorkshire that specialises in educational resources for teenagers. The name of the business I'm proposing is Get Your Head Round It, and it's an online resource. This is Bez. Say hello, Bez. Richard. All right, mate. Safe. How's Monte Carlo? Hey up. Duncan. I rate you, me. Glasgow boy. Hardcore. Theo. Right, mate. Millwall, though. Ooh. Deborah. All right. You're the strict one, aren't you? Yeah. Peter. Legend. My mum fancies you. Yeah. Nice to meet you and that. Big yourselves up. All right. Sorry about that. He's not used to such formal occasions. I think I'll give him a break, actually. Bez is just one of the puppets that we use to create work for young people in schools, youth centres, care settings and young offenders institutions. We're incredibly popular wherever we present and perform our work. But we're only a small company. There are only so many days in the year we can devote to touring. We've taken steps to tackle that directly over the last year. I've produced and released a series of DVD resources aiming to get our work out. Get Your Head Round It is our next big step. It's an educational website. It's a catalogue of downloadable, credible, issue-based programmes. Think Sesame Street meets Spitting Image meets YouTube. We've sold tens of thousands of pounds worth of DVDs in our first year with little or no marketing budget. And with proper financial backing, we can create a whole range of unique resources to tackle social issues for British children. Not just the demonised Asbo youth we hear so much about in the tabloids, but my kids and yours, and yours, and yours.
Steve Wright already runs a successful puppet theatre company, and he wants £147,000 of investment for his new idea, an online educational resource for teenagers. He's offering the Dragons 25% equity, but Richard Farley already has concerns.
This sounds like a very noble cause.
Okay.
And I like the presentation with the puppet.
Thank you.
The business that you're asking us to invest in, though, doesn't exist at the moment. It doesn't have a website, just so I understand, has nothing.
That's right.
So to set up a new website which doesn't exist yet, has no customers, no revenue, no barriers to entry, nothing that you'd call a business.
That's right.
And you want me to invest in that?
Yes.
As I said, it's a noble cause, but it's a business which does not exist in any way or form. It's a complete idea in your mind. I wish you the best of luck, but I can't invest in something which doesn't exist. So right here and now, I can say there's no way I'm going to invest, and that I'm out. I am out.
It's a disastrous start for Steve. By overvaluing his new startup, he's instantly driven Richard Farley away. Can he recover from this early blow and persuade one of the 4 remaining dragons to invest?
Let's hear about your background. Tell us.
Okay.
Tell us your story.
Grew up in West Yorkshire in a very poor working class family. I was taken into foster care when I was 15. I struggled to become an independent adult when I was 16, 17. I found a niche in what I do, and I've created a very, very successful company. My work in other areas, we've worked on the Billy Elliot musical in the West End. We made the puppets for that. I don't know if any of you have been to see the show, but the big Maggie Thatcher
But
puppets.
you're not looking for investment in that puppeteer company. That was the reason that Richard declared himself out. So, can we go and talk about what the new company is going to do that you want me to invest in?
Okay, it's an internet resource. It's a subscription site. It'll cost each venue £200 per year to subscribe. If we get 1,500 subscribers in the first year, it will yield £300,000. In year 2, I'll double it to 3,000 subscribers. That's £600,000. If we go to Europe, Australia and America in year 3, and then for 10,000 subscribers, it's £2 to £2.5 million.
Although Steve is successful in his established company, the dragons are sceptical about the rapid growth and high turnover he's predicting for the new startup. Will Deborah Meaden be swayed by Steve's track record and self-confidence?
Hello, Steve.
Hi, Deborah.
There actually is no business there. What you're talking about is an idea, which you're valuing at £500,000, which I've got to tell you is completely out the window. You've got a really good cause here that you're very passionate about, but there is not a business. So I'm afraid, you know, you're great, you've got a good cause, but I'm out.
Steve's now lost 2 dragons, but he's not giving up without a fight.
I went out and got a lot of feedback and reaction to our new initiative. We work with schools, colleges, young offenders institutions and local authorities. They've all expressed a strong interest in this new subscription service. In every street and town and village in this country, there are young people who are...
Steve, I'm going to stop you because you're in danger, and I know you don't want to do this. You're in danger of lecturing us, and that wouldn't be the right thing to do.
No, you're right, you're right.
You haven't thought through this opportunity for us. You might have something, but you're not presenting it properly, and for those reasons, I'm just going to declare myself out.
Steve's chances of securing the £147,000 investment are fading fast. Only Duncan Bannatyne and Peter Jones are still in. Will either of them throw him the lifeline he badly needs?
Steve, if your pitch had been a little bit more focused on this and the business element about what you were doing, to say, I've got all the rights against these products, I own all these products, and I'm licensing these or giving them to the new company, and I'm going to sell it into the educational boards around the country, I think you would have got a lot more engagement today, because I do think it is a good thing, and I can see this working. Video clips, downloads work. How you value the business, I think, going back to Richard, I think he's right. How do you value business from nothing? And I think that's where you've undersold yourself. I think it is probably worth something if you'd started with these first. And actually, I think if we can get all of these type of the product sets into the business, I would be prepared to put half the money up.
Right.
But I would have to see, Steve, at least 25% for half of that money.
Right.
And the reason for that is because there's a lot to do with this.
Disagreeing with his rival dragons, Peter Jones has offered Steve half of the £147,000 he came for. But he wants much of the established company transferred into the new business, and he's demanding a 25% stake. But Steve still needs Duncan Bannatyne to invest the remainder of the money.
It appears to me that Peter has offered you £73,500 for 25% of the company, and the company will own all rights
the puppetry, to the DVDs, etc. Is that how you see the offer?
Yes. The entire digital output, the film output of the stuff. I'm not talking about the work that the workshops I might deliver to a group of young people.
You're not talking about that?
No. It's very much one business, creating the digital output into a web format.
Steve, there's a huge ambiguity here, and I can't understand it. I don't even know what you're offering.
Can I clarify?
No, you can't, Steve, because I've had enough. My brain's ready to explode. I'm not going to invest in you, and I'm out.
This is a devastating moment for Steve. With Duncan Bannatyne out, his only hope for investment now lies with the revised offer for the whole £147,000 from Peter Jones.
I get a little bit of the vision of what you're trying to create. The major issue here is the fact of being able to dedicate all of your time to this form of output. And I'm not willing to give you 100% because it's a huge play, it's a risk. So unfortunately, on that basis, I can't go the full distance, Steve, so I'm going to declare myself out as well.
Thank
you. Steve's fallen at the final hurdle, and under the rules of Dragon's Den, he must now leave empty-handed. You gave a great pitch.
Peter, legend. My mum fancies you.
But couldn't persuade them.
I think they were looking at a successful history of my company and saying, well, this is a new business, where does it, why are we being locked out of the old one, as it were?
And is there any chance you could have been persuaded to change the deal and so combine the companies?
Yeah, I think I might have been if Richard and Duncan had stayed on board.
I've had enough. My brain's ready to explode, and I'm out.
And is your friend here, Bez, is he a bit gutted?
Well, I'm gutted, yeah. What are you going to say, Alan? £1 billion between them. Well, I was asking for 150 grand, you know what I mean?
I'm sure you're going to go on to an eminent and successful career all the same. Well done.
Thank you very much.
All the entrepreneurs who dare to face the dragons think their inventions could make them millions. Farmer's wife, Sally Howe, came looking for a £30,000 investment in her woolly warmer, an ingenious device to save lambs born in cold winter conditions.
So the lamb is put inside the sling, its head trapped on the outside, and the box filled with warm water. Within about half an hour, the lamb has regained its energy and it can start standing up.
But Theo Paphitis' mind was on his stomach, not his wallet.
I like my lamb roasted. Parboiled is no good.
Peter Jones tried to steer the talk round to business.
And you've sold 56 so far?
Yeah.
What's your revenue?
About 5,000 I've got.
Okay.
Does that not
That doesn't work out. There's something wrong there, Sally.
Yeah.
How do you get to £5,000?
I don't know.
What's been your total sales then?
I don't know. Don't know, sorry.
But in the end, the dragons lost patience with Sally's woolly figures.
I'm afraid I'm not convinced, so for that reason I'm out.
Anthony Coates-Smith and Alistair Turner have already built up a profitable company, but now they need investment to accelerate their expansion. So can they convince our multimillionaire dragons to put £160,000 of their own money into the business?
Hi, my name's Anthony, this is my business partner Alistair, and we're here today to present you with an opportunity to invest £160,000 of your money into a fantastic young business called Igloo Thermo Logistics Limited. In return for your investment today, we are offering an 8% share in our company. Igloo provides specialist refrigerated transport services to the UK food and pharmaceutical industries. When we initially started the business, we had 2 refrigerated vans and operated out of a base in North London in a tiny managed office. In this initial month, we earned £2,000 in net sales. 24 months later, our net sales have grown to £106,000 for the month, and this has been delivered by our 26 employees and a fleet of 15 vehicles.
For the first 18 months, myself and Anthony were out driving vans during the day and managing the office during the night. In addition to that, we were taking calls from customers 24/7. All of this led to many sleepless nights, and the most memorable was one night in the French Alps, digging the vehicle out of several feet of snow with our bare hands in order to meet a customer's delivery.
The market that we're operating in is mature and competitive. Our aim for Igloo is quite clear. We want to be the best provider of the best service at the best quality.
With your investment today, we would like to fund our 2 key growth projects. These would be 2 new sites across the UK. The first one would be based in the north, around Manchester or Leeds. And the second one would be based around in the southwest of England, around Bristol or Cardiff. These 2 new sites would immediately deliver 3 key benefits. Response, we'd be able to get to our customers a lot quicker. Network, we would have a much more comprehensive UK network. And finally, we'd become a lot more price competitive versus local competition. These projects will be executed over a 12-month period, and with your investment today, we estimate by the end of year 5, Igloo will have a turnover in excess of £5 million, giving you excellent return on your investment.
Thanks for listening to us. Do you have any questions?
The Igloo team have delivered a confident pitch for £160,000 of investment in return for 8% of their refrigerated delivery service. Now marketing expert Deborah Meaden wants to drill down into their strategy for growth.
You talk about entering a competitive market, highly competitive market, which I recognise and I'm very pleased that you do. And you talk about offering best service. What are you going to do to differentiate yourself from big market leaders?
When we took the decision to come into this market, we found that basically there was a problem with consistency in the market and somebody actually offering a brand that you could trust and rely on to do the job that you pay them for.
Because one of the things in the market you hear horror stories back is manhandling of product, kicking product about, squashing product, and one of our main customers is we work for Marks & Spencer's. We take all of their packages to their photo shoots because they hire us and they know that we'll take care of the product.
And that leads me neatly into sales. You talked about your turnover figures. Can you start working that model up and explaining how that relates to profit?
Yeah, I mean, turnover in year 1 was 218,000.
Sorry, you're talking turnover again, though, aren't you?
Yes.
I want to hear profit. Yeah.
In year 1, naturally we had quite high setup costs and we didn't make a profit. We made a loss.
Just like to know what the profit is?
Well, in year 2 we made a profit.
Well, no, Alice,
how much? Sorry, Duncan, I haven't finished this one.
No, you haven't. But all she wants is, and I'm very interested
Duncan,
in this as well.
I'm quite capable of asking the gentleman
profit
myself.
or the loss
how much
for year 1
profit are you going to produce year 1, year 2, year 3?
Okay, year 1 loss, £70,000 loss. Year 2 turns into £18,000 profit. In year 3, we're projecting a healthy margin.
Can you give us a figure, please? It's hard work.
Yeah, 300,000.
Right, so it's 300,000. Okay, and you have a bank loan?
We initially took out £100,000 from a high street bank to set up the business. That was secured against our personal equity between the 2 of us. At the end of year 2, we repaid a lump sum of £70,000 of that loan through putting our own cash into the business.
Anthony and Alistair are armed with impressive-sounding figures and forecasts, but can they prize an investment from the Dragons when they're valuing just 8% of their business at £160,000?
Guys, I'm Peter. Hello. It's a really good pitch, and you've certainly given me an impression exactly what the business does. But I'm actually worried that you spent too long in one of those vans and your brains have frozen. You value this at nearly £2 million?
Yeah, it's a high-end valuation. You
know, at least justify it so I don't, waste any more time.
Okay, we value the business basically knowing what the business potential is. The market is crying out for a consistent and reliable brand that can offer this everywhere in the UK.
No, let's get to the point. Yeah. Because for me, this could be one of the most ridiculous valuations I've ever seen.
First of all, we're here today because we want the investment from you guys that will help us grow and deliver the potential for the business. That is what we're here for.
Point 1, that's not good enough.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why it's not good enough, because you've already told me your business this year is going to make £300,000 net profit this year. You're asking me for half of that money. You don't need the money, unless the forecast that you're giving me is nonsense.
No, the forecast is going to be accurate. We will deliver that forecast.
But then you don't need my money. You're absolutely wasting my time.
In an abrupt downturn, Peter Jones has torn into the duo over their high valuation and their rationale for seeking investment. Will Richard Farley share his concerns?
You kick-started it with
bank debt, you said, didn't you, the business?
Yes.
So presumably you could do that now?
We could. It's really a decision that we've taken to move away from that. That was secured against our own personal equity. We've injected cash into the business from our own equity now to remove the security charges over our properties and to try and move away from that. We really want to try and release now a bit of equity that the business has established to drive the business forward in its own right.
So what's your ambition?
We believe there's a room in the market to be the DHL of the refrigerated transport market, where people can move potentially low-value parcels. We can get the volume through the business with an excellent network, then we can still be profitable off that.
Despite being interrogated by the dragons, the duo are holding their own. Now Duncan Bannatyne decides to seize the initiative.
How negotiable is the percentage of equity that you're offering?
We appreciate that our valuation is born of a combination of understanding our numbers and our potential, but also, we've built the business from nothing, and obviously we love the business. We appreciate that, you may not share that valuation, and therefore there is room for negotiation.
What would you accept?
What do you want to offer?
Okay. Listen, I like this business, and I like you guys. I think you've done fantastic. I think you could do with some help to move it forward. I'm going to offer you half the money that you're looking for. You're looking for 160,000. I'm going to offer you £80,000. And for that £80,000, I want 20% of equity.
Okay.
It's a classic negotiating ploy. Duncan Bannatyne has gone to the other extreme with an offer that equates to a massive 40% chunk of igloo in return for the £160,000. Will his tactics force Anthony and Alistair to increase their equity offer?
First of all, thank you for the offer. It's very pleasing to think that you would want to work with us and accept the comment that we could do with some help in developing the business for the future. I think initially we have to push back and say that your offer, assuming somebody might want to equal it, means that we'll be giving away 40% of our business in order to achieve £160,000 of investment. I think that we can achieve that investment at a far lower cost.
Where?
Well, if it comes to it, then we are back to going down the bank route, and that would at that price that would become the most attractive option to us.
What if I could talk Duncan into coming down to 15, and I teamed up with him?
It's still, that's 30% of a successful growing business, which will guarantee, I'm telling you, we will deliver good returns on this business here, because we believe in our product.
What sort of number do you guys have in mind?
We look at equity stake of around about 15-20%, which is a movement.
Anthony and Alistair are standing firm, reluctant to sacrifice a 30% stake in their business. The other three dragons are still in. Will any of them come up with a better deal?
I like you. I think you're very good. So I'm going to make you an offer. I'm going to make you an offer of half the money for 12.5% stake in the business.
Okay.
Okay.
And just to come in there, I'll do likewise, 12.5% for half the money.
A bidding war has erupted in the den. Deborah Meaden and Theo Paphitis have undercut their rival dragons with a 25% offer on the equity. Peter Jones initially blasted Igloo's investment bid, but will he now enter the fray?
I've got to say, I'm really pleased that as the heat's gone up in the Dragon's Den, I've started to see that your brains are defrosting slowly, and you're starting to get at least a little bit realistic on the valuation of your business. I'm not convinced, however, that you're going to achieve what you think you might achieve, but I've decided to make you an offer. And I'd like to offer you £160,000 for 30% of your business. Or I will come in with another dragon at 12.5%, which values you at 25%. And the reason why I'm willing to go down is because there's slightly less work for me linking with another dragon. Simple as that.
Okay. Thanks very much.
It's an extraordinary twist. Determined to manoeuvre himself into the deal, Peter Jones has pitched himself head-on against Richard Farley and Duncan Bannatyne's offer of £160,000 for 30% equity. He's also tried to wedge himself into Deborah Meaden and Theo Prophetus's rival bid for 25% equity. But after his early attack on their business acumen, will Anthony and Alistair be tempted by his or any of the offers in front of them?
I mean, obviously at the moment the best offer on the table for us is both Deborah and Theo. Would either of you feel like improving on that offer? I mean, we're looking for a small amount of equity to give away. And
speaking for myself, I would. I'd be willing to offer you £80,000 for 10% of the business.
I think we're squeezing down on the valuations now. I'll come in with Duncan at the moment if we both sort of stick at 22.5, just to split hairs. Instead of doing 20, we do 22.5.
That's the best equity offer on the table.
That's okay.
But not necessarily the best dragons to work with.
Do you mind if we take 30 seconds?
Please do.
Thank you.
Pressing home their advantage, Anthony and Alistair have succeeded in driving down the equity demands from at least one of the competing factions. All three offers still stand, but all involve sacrificing much more than the 8% they originally wanted to give away.
Okay, we have made a decision. We're absolutely thrilled with the offers that you've made. It is beyond our expectations. And we have decided to go for the lowest equity offer for the business. And we'd be very pleased to work with yourselves on delivering the future of the business.
Okay, guys, you made the right decision.
Yeah.
You know, well done. Okay. Fantastic.
Determined to secure a stake in Igloo, Duncan Bannatyne and Richard Farley have successfully seen off their rival dragons, leaving Anthony and Alistair 22.5% lighter, but £160,000 better off. Anthony, Alistair, did you ever think you'd get 5 offers?
I'm going to offer you £80,000.
I'm going to make you an offer for half the money.
I've decided to make you an offer.
No, I don't think we ever thought it would be a result like that. We've got 2 people breathing down our neck. You know, we need to look at our 2 new sites that we want to open up and you know, get out there and win some more business.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Dozens of entrepreneurs enter the den asking for investment.
Superstar.
Most go away empty-handed. Mike Carr wanted £100,000 for his drive-safe glove.
And basically the idea is, if you're going to France, you would put the glove on your right hand. This would then remind you and any other driver in the vehicle to stay on the right-hand side of the road.
Something tells me this isn't going to work. I don't know why. You know, I don't know what. Well, I don't need to analyse it. You know what I mean? I just don't think people are going to wear a glove to decide where to drive on the road.
The Dragons struggle to take Mike's invention seriously.
Remember, pull on before you pull away.
It's a good slogan, is it?
And you believe, if they can't remember which side of the road they're driving on, that they're going to remember that.
And Deborah Meaden had the final word.
That is such a bad idea. You can probably guess my next words.
Okay, Deborah.
I'm out.
Welshman Tim Jones needed £70,000 to manufacture his patent-pending bar-mounted lemon slicer.
Your gin or vodka, and then you just put it underneath the unit, you push it, and you get a fresh slice of lemon straight into the glass.
Tim's idea held no appeal for bar owner Duncan Bannatyne.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. You've oversolved a problem that doesn't really exist.
And Deborah Meaden thought it could end up taking a slice out of a bar's profits.
Backspace on a bar is incredibly competitive, and the amount of money somebody makes out of one of those bottles is going to far outweigh any benefit that you're going to be able to get through that lemon slicer. So I'm afraid, Tim, I'm out.
So far today, the Dragons have backed just one business. Will any of these entrepreneurs persuade them to invest?
Did you hear what I just said, or are you just going to talk over me?
I'm just sort of sitting here thinking, do I want to take a gamble?
You could have a product that is worthless.
I think The 4 of these are talking a lot of rubbish.
Next up is Dr. Gilly Cucci from London, who's got a PhD in genetics and had a high-flying job in pharmaceuticals before she quit to set up her own business. She thinks she's got the solution for stressed-out city workers, but she needs an investment of £100,000.
Hi, my name is Dr. Gilly Cucci. I'm here to ask for £100,000 for 20% shares in Cucci Kukui Limited. I used to work for pharmaceutical and biotech industry, and I was exposed to stress, and I realized that if any business is developed that alleviates stress from busy people, would be a very, very successful business. So I left at that time my very well-paid job, and I started the Cucci Kukui Limited. We have a branch at the moment in the city, and we collaborate with a chain of very upmarket hairdressing salons called Sandritz. At the moment, we have concession business with 4 of Sandritz branches, and then we are due to go to 8 branches. We have our own brand of treatments and massage therapies. We have a range of skincare products as well. The original thing about our products is we use a nut which comes from Hawaii, and it's called kukui, and the oil comes out of the nut, and it's very good for eczema, psoriasis and allergies, and also full of multivitamins and antioxidants. So the idea for the £100,000 that we're going to borrow is to spend £40,000 in the next year for another branch in the city. So that would be another Cucci Kukui branch in the city. And also the idea is that we're going to get into another 12 branches, like the concession in Sandritz. And that is going to cost us another £36,000 to £40,000, and we also are going to develop the brand of products, and for marketing we're going to spend under £20,000. That's it. Thank you.
It's a polished pitch by Dr. Gilly Cucci for the £100,000 investment she needs to develop her business. Duncan Bannatyne is keen to know more.
Do you actually produce all of this product and sell it?
We produce them in UK, yes.
You produce them and you sell them?
Yes. We launched it in Selfridges. That eye gel ran out in 1 week.
So you do the massages in these hairdressing salons?
Yes. So when we go in,
yep,
as a Cucci business, we provide the staff, the equipment, the products, and our brand of therapies. Mm-hmm. So the whole idea behind Cucci is that you're busy, you're stressed, you just want to walk in to a centre and get a treatment done.
So what is your financial turnover then?
£180,000.
And your profit?
£55,000. That's the net profit.
But are you taking a salary? Is that after your salary?
I myself don't take a salary at the moment, and there's no director's loan either. The company doesn't owe anything.
Gilly's giving an impressive account of her young business, but something seems to be troubling Peter Jones.
I'm not saying I'm a skeptic, but it's kind of a bit too good to be true. Because you've found your product, you've opened up 4 concession stores, you've got first year 180k worth of sales, you've just made £55,000 net profit. Just to break down that 180,000, you've started your business and company when?
In July 2004.
2004?
Yes.
Okay. What was your turnover to July 2005?
July 2005, it was it was kind of zero. Because
so
we spent
2005
so much money.
to 2006. So the last 12 months, what do your audited accounts show you that you've turned over?
It was £55,000.
So where do you get the figure of £180,000 turnover?
That is
Made
based
up?
on the last 4 months' profits.
So it's a projection?
Yes.
It's a run rate. It's a run rate. That's what you're
Yeah.
doing. If you did the same amount of business as you did last month
for every month going forward, that's what you would do.
Right.
And you'll do 180,000.
By the end of this year, we have not done £180,000.
Okay.
Because we've projected the figures based on the last 4 months.
Gilly is suddenly in real trouble, her pitch imperiled by her confusing account of her company's figures. An exasperated Theopophetus tries again.
I'm going to ask you some questions now, and I just want the answer to the question exactly as I ask it. In your first year of trading, what was the turnover?
0.
You didn't trade at all?
We did trade. Oh, the
turnover, not profit, turnover.
Okay, the turnover was about £50,000. At December 2006, the turnover is £55,000.
I've written down, that's not the same 55,000 profit that I wrote down earlier.
No.
That's coincidence.
Yes, at the moment it's...
I've got to say,
at the moment it's 50...
is your favourite number 55?
No.
55 turnover year 1, 55 net profit, 55 forecast, 55 turnover this year. Everything's 55. Something's going wrong here. I think it's a load of rubbish. I think your numbers, you have not got a clue, and you'd be far better to say, you know what, I really don't know, and I've made a big mistake coming in here, not knowing my numbers.
Gilly has been blasted by Peter Jones. Will Deborah Meaden spot enough potential in the business to overcome any reservations over her grasp of the figures?
How much profit have you made out of that £55,000 turnover?
We made £12,000 profit.
Okay, so what you're basically telling us is ignore all the stuff that went on before. I've actually done quite well over the last 4 months, so I'll stand in front of you now and tell me that that's what this business is now going to do forever. That actually, I would have accepted had it not been for the confusion over the numbers. I was sitting here thinking, do you know, I don't really like this type of product, but hey, it's made £55,000 in it. First year. Absolutely, I'm interested in investing.
Till now, yes.
Oh.
Not till December.
Gilly, let me just finish.
Has done.
You then completely unravelled your case. You've done nothing but go backwards from there because there's not one number we can trust. You've done very well to keep our attention this long.
But the £55,000 is what we've made.
Did you hear what I just said, or are you just going to talk over me?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm out.
An infuriated Deborah Meaden is the first dragon to pull out. Richard Farley is ready to have his say.
Gilly, it does come back to, on your products, you're in an extremely competitive market, which is going to be difficult, and we don't know what's going to happen. On the shop, you're doing a lot of treatments, things which aren't related to the core idea that you've presented. So, I'm going to step out.
And Gilly, you've come in, you didn't know the numbers at all. And you would have been, as I said, far better to have said, I don't know the numbers, I've got it wrong. Or at least...
I've got the numbers down, and we have made £55,000 so far this year.
Turnover. You haven't.
Turnover.
You've sold.
Turnover.
That's not made, you've sold
£55,000.
Which matches exactly the same as the previous year, which matches exactly the same as your forecast for next year. And on that basis...
For next year is completely different.
Well, no, it'd probably be 55,000 net profit. You make yourself uninvestable with your lack of knowledge over your numbers. You are very investable the way that you presented and came across with your products. But you have completely ruined the opportunity. You're uninvestable. I'm out.
After delivering a damning indictment, Peter Jones has declared himself out, the third dragon to do so. Now Gilly's failing hopes for investment lie with Duncan Bannatyne and Theopophetus.
Gilly, I don't know what to say. I liked it. I'm a retailer. I understand packaging. I understand product. I couldn't wait for Duncan to be quiet so I can give you my money. And I thought I might have to fight him to get the investment. And then we get down to numbers. You haven't got a clue what your numbers are.
But can I also tell
let me finish. For those reasons, I can't invest in you. So I too am out.
4 dragons have now been deterred from investing in Gilly's business by her confusing account of the figures. Only Duncan Bannatyne remains.
I think the 4 of these are talking a lot of rubbish. I think you do know the numbers, but I think under the pressure of questioning, they've confused you in the questions. I think it's simple. I think what you're saying is your year end ended 4 months ago. And this new year, and the 4 months of this year, you've turned over 55,000 and made £12,000 profit.
Exactly.
It's simple.
She did not.
She did. She did. Look, she did. In questioning from Peter, she said her year end was June.
No, she started
She said
July.
June. Well, that's his opinion, but I still want to talk this through. So if you take the 4 months where you turned over 55,000, the first 4 months of this year, made 12, what you're saying is in the year, to annualise it, you will turn over 165,000 and make £36,000 profit.
Yes.
That's right, isn't it? It's as simple as that.
Say that. Anything like that.
You guys finished? Do you want to shout and scream like the children anymore? Jerry, so the situation is you're projecting £36,000 profit this year, and that's without you taking any wages. I just say this is probably a nice little business where I think you should continue, and you can maybe make some money and make a living out of it, but it's not an investable company at the moment. Okay, so for that reason, I'm out.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Gilly leaves with nothing, but Duncan Bannatyne's last-minute intervention has caused uproar in the den.
I think it's quite clear you made £36,000 net profit.
Annualised, £12,000 over the last 3 months, annualised.
That's about as clear as a dark
What you do is 4 months is 1/3 of the year, Peter, and you made 12, so you multiply it by 3. 3 times 12 is 36.
I'm not going to thank you for the financial lesson, Duncan.
However passionate the entrepreneur... are about their inventions, the scrutiny of the dragons can quickly expose flaws. Next up was Cornish entrepreneur Ollie Dalgleish and his surf buddy Waylon Harrison, who provided an eye-catching demonstration of the Ollie Pop surf towel, designed to help novices learn how to pop to their feet.
Right now, Waylon would be paddling to the wave, so he's paddling, 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 and then he'd be catching the wave, place his hands in position, and then spring and twist. And every time he's aiming to get his feet landing in the right spot.
But Peter Jones threw cold water over their bid for a £50,000 investment.
I've got Ollie Pop and Waylon in front of me pitching a beach towel.
It's a printed towel that is also a surf aid.
It kind of doesn't do it.
And Theo Paphitis wasn't mincing his words.
It's as useful as a pair of knickers and a kipper. It does no use whatsoever.
Okay.
I'm out.
Sarah Jackson and Sarah Tierney wanted £150,000 for their MiniWebs website gift packs.
You simply put the CD into your computer and then you choose the style of your MiniWeb. And it really is that simple. You're up and running within a couple of minutes.
But Deborah Meaden had seen it all before.
Is there anybody else doing this to your knowledge?
Not for gift or impulse buys.
So what about the one that I bought last year for my nephew?
It's not really designed for the gift market. With MiniWebs...
Well, I bought it in a gift shop as a gift for my nephew. So I thought it was a gift.
And Peter Jones thought the product had no future.
You could have a product that is worthless, and I think it's worthless over a very short space of time, because the way that this market is moving is it's going to be free.
But would you do that as a gift? Would you send that as a gift?
Well, what I'm saying is I don't think you'd want to receive it as a gift, because it's worthless.
Next into the den today is London-based reggae musician Levi Roots. He's been successfully selling his product locally for 15 years, but thinks the time is right for expansion nationwide. He's asking for an investment of £50,000.
Put some music in my food for me and give me some reggae, reggae sauce. Hot reggae, reggae sauce. It's so nice, I had to name it twice. I called it reggae, reggae sauce. Hot reggae, reggae sauce. Just like my baby, it's the perfect delight. It's got some peppers and some herbs and spice. Me want some reggae, reggae sauce. Hot reggae, reggae sauce. So nice with your fried chicken. Make burgers finger licking. And rice and peas and fish. Put some reggae sauce on your list. Thank you. My name is Levi Roots. I'm looking for 50,000 for 20% in my reggae sauce. I've been in the music business for over 30 years. I'm a producer, a singer, a songwriter, and a chef. For 15 of those 30 years, I've been doing the Notting Hill Carnival, supplying most of the stalls with my secret recipe sauce I entitled reggae sauce. So without further ado, I like this. Make you have a look. Right, the sauce. What is the sauce? Reggae sauce is a hot to mild jerk barbecue sauce. It replaces the typical tomato ketchup or your hot pepper sauce. Tomato ketchup is boring, no flavor, just tomato. Hot pepper sauce is hot.
Empty room, filled it up, talk is cheap, listen up. I don't know where we went wrong, but I feel I'm shaking these walls, yeah. Nothing safe, gotta take cover. Instead of love, we just make glitter. Running and running, yeah, we got off track. Now we under attack.
No flavors, it ruins your food. With reggae sauce, it retains the flavors of the garlic, the peppers, the coriander, the scallion, and all the herbs and spices which we put in. For 15 years, we've been marketing the sauce at the Notting Hill Carnival, and I think as marketing goes, I think 15 years is enough time for us to launch it. I've got a very nice order from a meat company in Yorkshire for, wait for it, 2.5 million liters of reggae sauce as their first orders. We've had just like shook hands on a deal. I've had a nice letter from them, which I have with me. Now, all we have to do now is just try and get production up to standard. Any questions, please?
It's rare for the Dragons to be serenaded for an investment, but will that help Levi Roots secure the £50,000 he needs in return for a 20% share in reggae sauce? Theo Pafitis wants to know more about the entrepreneur in front of him.
Levi Roots, what a great name.
Thanks
Is it your real name?
No, it's my pseudonym. My real name is Keith. No, I don't see me would have been in 30 years in reggae if I was. Can I introduce Keith?
You've just lost so much credibility. You should have lied to him and said, yeah.
What you are, not if my mother calls me Keith, right? She calls me Levi. I've been knowing that ever since then.
Oh, dear, right.
The Dragons seem charmed by Levi, but they're also bemused by his claim to have secured a massive order for his sauce. Duncan Bannatyne has some questions.
Okay, you mentioned a letter you had with an order for 2.5 million litres.
Yeah.
So have you got the letter with you?
I have indeed.
Well, would you pass that to Theo and let him read it? We'll ask you a few more questions.
Certainly, no problem. And I think Theo must be this handsome guy right in front of me here.
Sold. I like you already.
So you've been selling this for 15 years?
Yes.
At the carnival?
At Notting Hill Carnival, yes.
So how many bottles did you sell last year?
2,500.
2,500 bottles at the carnival. And approximately how much per bottle?
£1.49.
So about £4,000 turnover or something?
Yeah. The sauce actually costs 32 pence to make each bottle of this size.
Where do you make it? How do you make it? Do you make it in your kitchen or
yes, at the moment I make it at home in my kitchen, and my children help me, and we just sort of do it as a family there. A very small kitchen. We can't do a very large amount at the moment.
Can you legally make things like that in your kitchen and go out and sell them nationwide?
Absolutely, because we've had a letter and a confirmation from the food standard, which was one of the first things that I did.
Have you spoken to anybody about what it takes to produce the kind of volumes that are going to be needed to fulfill these? And what do you need to do?
What I need to do is to rent a place. I mean, I won't buy or anything like that. I will just rent a premises. And I think the equipment will cost me about $25,000 for all equipment.
You need to spend £25,000 on equipment.
Yeah.
Levi's still sounding confident, but his ambitious plans mean transforming a cottage industry into a mass production line virtually overnight. Theo Perfitis has been studying Levi's paperwork and has some concerns about the order itself.
I might have misunderstood you slightly, because I thought you said that you had an order for 2.5 million litres. That's not what this letter says. This letter says if they were to try and market your product, and if it was as successful as some of the other lines that are in national retailers, that's the sort of level that they would have to produce to make it happen. Is that your understanding?
No. Basically what he's saying to me, says, look, we're ready to make an order. As long as you can supply us with this, this is what we will do.
Right. And they're going to pay you a royalty of 5%?
5%, providing that I can supply him.
With him alone, I mean, he thinks that that will create about 390,000 packs.
Yeah.
Which will retail at about 1.7 million.
Yeah.
So 5% of that is? 85.
85.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be
to sing a song.
that would be your royalty.
Yes.
Roughly.
Roughly, yeah.
That would be, and then you're going to be selling these guys at £6.50 a litre.
Per litre, yeah.
What's that in real money?
I think it's 16 million something. 16.5 million.
Although Levi's letter is not a firm order, he's still maintaining this potential deal could generate £16 million, a huge turnover for such a small business. But Richard Farley thinks he's spotted a fundamental flaw in Levi's calculations.
Levi, can I just want to, it's something I don't understand. You've got an order for 2,500 kilos.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're saying is 2.5 million litres?
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's right.
Not 2,500. 250,000, isn't it?
2,500 kilos.
It's a lot less than you think it is.
It is?
2,500. The order is for
2,500 kilos.
Well, a kilo is about the same as a litre. If it's water, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
So it's not 2.5 million litres. If you've got 2,500 kilos, it's 2,500 litres.
Okay.
And then it says
that
that's initial
kilos,
requirement, and then a potential every week thereafter of 500 kilos per week.
Which is about 25,000 a year.
Okay.
And you're getting £6 per...
£6.50 per litre.
Right, so it's about £130,000 worth per order, per year. It's not 16 million.
Richard Farley has exposed a disastrous miscalculation by Levi. Potential royalties aside, manufacturing the sauce himself would make him £130,000, but not £16 million. Duncan Bannatyne has heard enough.
Levi, there's no business in this. So I'm going to let you know where I am, and I'm not going to invest. So I wish you the best of luck, but I'm out.
Duncan Bannatyne thinks Levi's sauce has no future. Will the 4 remaining dragons agree?
Okay, let me tell you where I am. I think you've got a great business, but it's for you, and you will do well out of it. It's not going to be on a big enough scale for me. So thanks for bringing it here, but I'm out.
Thank you.
Levi, let me come in here. That letter's not an order.
It's not an order.
And it's a hugely complex, difficult business to get into major supermarkets. In fact, I'd go as far as to say you've got pretty well very little hope. If, on the other hand, that letter becomes reality, the royalties alone on one line they're offering you is approximately £80,000. Then on top of that, you'll then receive your money for supplying the source. So at that stage, you actually don't need any help from anybody here if that comes to fruition. So those are the two reasons why I won't be investing. So I'm afraid, Levi, I'm out.
Levi is staring disaster in the face. With 3 dragons out in quick succession, his chances of securing the £50,000 investment are fading fast. Only Peter Jones and Richard Farley now stand between him and expulsion from the den.
It's a little bit confusing because, I mean, you're a fantastic guy, you're a lot of fun, right? But
I always get that.
I mean, that's completely irrelevant, really, because in terms of you managing a business, I'd be a bit nervous because, as I discovered, you're not doing 2.5 million litres, you're doing 2,500 litres. And I noticed you didn't sort of say, oh, well, in that case, I'll only need a small room or less money. So you probably admit to me that your business skills probably would need a little bit of help.
Absolutely, I would say that, yeah.
So I'm just sort of sitting here thinking, do I want to take a gamble, you know?
Can I just cut in to give Richard a bit of time to think about whether he wants to gamble or whether to think about it? Because I know where I'm going with it, and I just want to be clear where I am. Okay. So you've got no illusions going forward. I think that trying to get into this market, we know how competitive it is. It's seriously, seriously competitive. To try and range run product is kind of almost impossible. So to let you know where I am, I like impossible challenges.
Good.
And I've been sitting here for 10 minutes. I've been actually I can't believe this is the first time ever I've actually started to sweat. And I don't know whether it's the sauce that I've just taken or actually whether it's what I'm about to say. It is a complete punt, but I kind of probably would enjoy it. I've got a few people in the marketplace that I could introduce you to, but I'd want a little bit more of a slice, but I wouldn't want to take too much away from you because I think you need to earn a living. But I would offer you half the money for 20%.
It's an extraordinary twist. Peter Jones has stepped in and offered Levi half of the £50,000 he needs, but he's demanding the whole 20% equity stake in return. Under the rules of the den, Levi must secure all the money he's asking for, or he leaves empty-handed. His fate now rests with Richard Farley.
Is that an interesting offer to you? I mean, it just...
Well, it's the only one. It's the only one so far. It's not be interesting if it's the only one so far.
Because on the one hand, we've got, if this works, it's great. If it doesn't matter how many other sources you've got. Well, so we're talking about 25,000 for 20%. So no, I think that's a fair. That's not. It is a gamble. It is a punt. I'd match that 25,000 for another 20%. So you'd be talking 50,000 for 40%, leaving you 60%.
Richard Farley thinks there is money to be made from Levi's deal, but only if he has a big enough slice of the company. Levi could have the £50,000 he's come for if he's prepared to give the two dragons double the equity he was originally offering. Will he be prepared to sacrifice such a large chunk of his business?
Well, I came with, thinking that I'm going to be tough like you guys. But I must admit, I have learned a few things here, from you guys, obviously. I'm always up for learning. And I think that deal, it's not ideal for me. But at the same time, I think this is going to do fantastic for the sauce. So I would accept it gladly.
Levi has done it. After a roller coaster ride in the den, he's giving away 40% of his company, having gained £50,000 and two extremely influential business partners. Now he really has got something to sing about.
Put some music in the food for me and give me some reggae, reggae sauce. Hot reggae, reggae sauce. It's so nice, I had to name it twice. I called it reggae, reggae sauce. That's it.
Levi, what can I say? Very well done. Did you expect that?
No, I didn't at all. I didn't at all.
Some of the numbers were all over the place.
You're not doing 2.5 million litres, you're doing 2,500 litres.
What have you got? Because a lot of people, when they don't know the kind of the numbers, and they get grilled and humiliated up there, but you just got away with it.
I got it from my mother. My mother told me yesterday, she says to me, come here when you knock 'em dead. And then I tried to do that. Me want some reggae, reggae sauce. Hot reggae, reggae sauce.
Are you happy with this? You've just given away 40% of your business.
Absolutely. I'm over the moon. I mean, sometimes you don't usually get exactly what you want in this world, but you have to do the little that you have. Indeed.
Very well done.
Thank you very much.
Next week on Dragon's Den.
Your pitch resembles something out of Del Boy Trotter's Opportunities book.
I couldn't work with you because you can't get a straight answer.
Hate to see the growth of it. I hope it doesn't work for you. I'm out.
They're back next Wednesday at the same time, 8 o'clock. Next tonight on BBC Two, our brand new drama, political intrigue and sexual shenanigans in Party Animals.